Alex Ross Perry is back with another movie, and this one's a little bit different from his other stuff. But once again he's recruited Elisabeth Moss to play the main character, and I don't mind that at all since she usually does a really good job. However, when it comes to this guy's movies, I've seen 3 of them before, and I can't claim to have loved them, but there's always something I've liked about them. Even with Queen of Earth, I like the intense atmosphere and the main performance, and both of those things are present here too, the atmosphere and the performance. But as I said, this one's a little bit different, and it's essentially about this all-female punk band. Or I guess mostly about the lead singer, who in the opening sequence is a little bit unhinged. She's obviously on something a little bit more potent than alcohol. And there might be something else going on beneath the surface too. But I have to say that sequence, which goes on for almost half an hour, was pretty intense. It just never eases up and just keeps building tension. It also involves a baby, and it genuinely made me anxious and uncomfortable. Which I mean it meant to do, so great job with the atmosphere once again. And I also have to mention that the sound design in this is fantastic. I just loved what they did with it, and it made the whole thing feel that much more immersive. But after that first sequence it takes a little bit of a breather. It gets a little bit less intense, but not by much, and it's all driven by the main performance. Which is kinda manic, I guess. The main character is just off her rocker, and Elisabeth Moss is letting loose and having fun with it. But the constantly moving camera also adds to the unsettling feel of it. Now combine those things with great sound design and it makes the whole thing feel hectic and unnerving. And I like that a lot, but let's get back to the story here for a second. As I said, it's about this punk band and the lead singer. And they've been together for a while, but the other members have pretty much had enough. They're supposed to be recording a new album, but the lead singer can't seem to get her act together. So there's a lot of drama and tension there too. They're basically all at their wits' end. And all of that continues to build for over an hour. It might have been closer to 90 minutes before there's this sudden shift in tone. And a much needed break from all the drama and the noise. And that shift was kinda jarring, but really effective and impactful. Because the next segment here is very quiet and subdued, which is a pretty stark contrast to the first part. It's also easily my favorite part of the movie, no question about it. In fact, it's probably my favorite sequence in any Alex Ross Perry movie ever. It's genuinely touching and so beautifully handled too. I loved it. And it's something I haven't seen in this guy's movies before. It's very stripped down and simple, and just felt so intimate and honest. And it showed me that he's really grown as a writer and a filmmaker. I mean, his other movies always had a little bit of this aloof air to them. And he usually laid on the snark and the sarcasm pretty thick too. And the characters, while good, didn't necessarily feel all that real and authentic. But with this he shows a much more mature side. I was a bit surprised actually. And that's all great, but the movie doesn't end there. It could have, but it doesn't. And I would have probably preferred if it had ended there. But at the same time, I do see why he added that last part to the story. It sort of wraps things up more neatly and brings the character arcs to a better conclusion. And there is still some tension in there too, and I didn't outright dislike it. But for some reason the energy of the movie just kinda started to fizzle out. It felt like it should have been done, but then it just kept going and overstayed its welcome. I mean, it does make sense for the story and the characters, so I can't hate it. That last part clearly serves a purpose, but it just didn't feel as impactful as it should have, I guess. But yeah, I enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very well put together on basically every level. That being said, I could see why a lot of people might not like it. It's not for everyone. It's not very easily digestible and could come across as off-putting. Even boring, I guess. It's just one of these movies that either clicks for you or it doesn't. But for me it clicked. However, would I recommend it? Yeah, I think so. I would say it's worth giving a look, so maybe check it out. Maybe don't. I'm not your dad. But I am trying to sell out, so consider liking, subbing, hitting that bell and supporting me on Patreon. Because I really need to get my new punk band off the ground. And hey, why not drop a comment below or check out another review? I'd appreciate it. Thanks.